सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज आपकी आवाज, विज्ञान की आवाज, की आवाज।
Celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we bring you a podcast series on STEM popularization, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine, supported and catalyzed by the National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Government of India. This program is produced by Media for Community Foundation. Creative content and technical support is given by Radioactive Community Radio, Bengaluru.
एक नई दुनिया की आवाज आपकी आवाज, विज्ञान की आवाज, की आवाज, की आवाज।
Latest information on STEM popularization.
Nanoparticles and nanocarriers have improved the effectiveness and targeting of the drugs to reduce side effects and the increase patient outcome. Other areas where nanotechnology is utilized in India include energy storage and production, water treatment, and material science. Water treatment. Right water produces filtration systems that can remove various contaminants such as fluoride, arsenic, and nitrates. The company uses a combination of electrolysis and nanotechnology in its products, such as NanoBlue, which can purify up to 50,000 liters of water per day.
Now, our next segment is Analyst in STEM. Today we are with Professor Ranjani Vishwanatha, Associate Professor, International Center for Material Science, Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research.
So basically this kind of research has been used, as I already mentioned, has been extensively used by the military. And also nanotechnology been there for a while now, about 20-30 years now. So the scope of nanotechnology has been well understood by the community. And for example, solar panels, like for example cadmium telluride has been established. The advantage of nanotechnology in these things is that you have a continuous variation in the band gap. So basically you can absorb all wavelengths of light from the sun, which means that you are not wasting a lot of energy in heat. Because the major drawback of solar panels so far is, for example, that you can, if you are able to capture 1% of the solar energy, your energy problems are solved. And we are unable to do that much. So in that sense, we have to capture as much as possible, and various wavelengths of light, being able to capture them without investing a huge amount of money in each of the panels. That is one. So when you go with nanotechnology, there are several of these examples wherein you can use it in emission applications and solar panels, nano drug delivery, medicine, any other nanoelectronics, most of these things. But there have been several breakthroughs in aspect. But quantum technology is more a recent phenomena. People have understood that this holds a potential. So turning them into applications can take some more time. And there have been several emphasis on quantum computing, quantum communication. That especially computing can take a long time. And because it's not only that you need to find one particular logic to make it work, but you need to actually connect these one particular logics. So it can take a lot of time. In the meantime, these one particular logics can be useful in quantum enhanced sensing, simulation, sensors, and so on. So they can be immediately useful in, for example, predicting the weather or predicting your flight path and so on. There are these short-term applications which can come to light in about 5-6 years from now, and there are these long-term applications which are quantum computing and things like that, which can take a long time because it's like a chain of events, and these chains have to be connected. First you have to design how to make that one particular chain, and then you have to find out how do you connect these chains. So that can take some time.
Considering the research work, in terms of ranking, where does India stand?
Research work in terms of ranking in quantum technology, India is not far behind. Of course, there are competitions from US, China specifically, and also US and European countries, some of them. But India has put in quite a bit of effort, and I think the government has also agreed to give a large amount of money. If that money flows in, I think we will be on par with the global level, and we will be competing at a compatible level. However, there are these issues that we need to work on. That first of all, we need to ensure how we actually obtain the money, utilize the money, and but I would say the initiative from the scientists as well as from the government is there, but we need to bring it to fruition.
Do you find yourself having any competition, and if there are, who are your competitors?
Yeah, of course, every field has a huge number of competitions, and there are a large number of people who are working in these areas. I would like to twist it a little, rather than saying who are my competitors, because obviously there will be many competitors and I cannot name all of them. But I would twist it a little bit and say what are the strengths in which I think we could compete very strongly. And that would be something like putting in. So most of these technologies are engineering driven and physics driven. So there are a lot of physicists and engineers who are working very strongly in that direction. However, what is not exploited so extensively so far is how chemistry can contribute to these. Not only because some things that engineering wise, physics wise would take you a lot of effort and a lot of money to actually achieve, that can probably be done at a very, very easy, cheap manner if you use the right kind of material. And that material, for example, I'll give you one example wherein you would want the light efficiency to go down to 1%. So what will you do? You take the best emitter, and which is like 100% emissive, and then you kind of bring it down to that required 1% or smaller, which will require a lot of transistors and whatever down conversion electronics, which will make your whole laser very, very expensive. Instead, if you can take a very bright emitting sample and encrust it in a chemical matrix, so that this dilution is not done through engineering channels but actually done through your matrix, which is way more cheaper. I agree at this stage probably it is not as sturdy, but the difference in cost is so high that you can afford to have a little less sturdiness. Okay, it runs out, you go get a new one. It's like getting these cheap lights. You want to invest in one big heavy light, or you want these flutter lights which you go and get it in the market at 10 rupees, and then it goes out. So it is kind of like that. So basically that is where I think our strengths are compared to our contemporaries. We are working very strongly in trying to figure out where chemistry can make an interest in the whole field and actually make a difference, so that we are on par with the global competition. Basically, we are trying to utilize our strengths to understand the problem that is.
Can you brief about contemporaries, ma'am?
In India, there are a lot of people who are working in this field. I think some of the physicists, Professor Arindam Ghosh, you might already know of. And there are other people, senior people also, who are working in this area.
Okay.
Chemists, my contemporaries, Professor Anshuman Nag, Kanishka Biswas, they're all working in these areas, and they all have unique strengths. I think they would be very productive as a team. I think it would be very productive. Globally, yes, there are a lot of countries. One of the main persons spearheading the advancement in this area is Professor Prashant Kamath, who is also in many chief editor of many journals like ACS Energy Letters, and he was also previously in Journal of Physical Chemistry Letters. So he has been spearheading this whole movement in that direction, and Professor Gamelin has been actively involved. Professor Klimov.
Okay.
So there are a lot of contemporaries, Uri Panin.
How is Indian industries associated with this project?
Yeah, so Indian industries have to play an increasingly important role. So in most of these cases, the scientists can tell you about that these are the interesting properties, the interesting functions, and even give you a prototype device. But it is actually up to the industry to standardize it in a way that it can be marketed. Because a prototype device to a full device requires a lot of engineering steps, which probably the industries are already aware of, or if they are not aware of, they have the expertise to work in that direction. So, in order to take any of these efforts to fruition, the Indian industries have to play a very important role. And also, like some pharmaceuticals have already come up. But in the engineering side, optics side, where I am working in quantum optics and so on, I think they are very gradually evolving. I myself have personally interacted with several startup companies, and they are willing to put in their effort. But they are startup companies, so their investment in it is very limited. But at this stage, along with the government, the industrial investment is also very necessary. So for that, while startups are very good for providing the technical know-how, etc., for investment we need to involve the bigger industries and communities.
Here we are, signing off. Stay tuned with us to catch up on the latest science updates and learn about STEM experts